Hello and welcome to Hikmara Studios. I'm Azadeen. This is where we left off in the last video, and we're gonna carry on doing our next object for our scene. But before modeling next object, I want to organize what we have in the scene, so to make our life easier. When we have a lot of objects in the scene, it's gonna be really messy and hard to find our object. So on this side, if you remember, the collection side, which is for organizing the object in the scene. So I'm gonna put each different object in different scenes, so just to organize it for a little bit better. So you're gonna see the shortcut on the right left corner. So I'm gonna select Windows, all of them like this, and press M and new collection. I'm gonna call this one Windows and press enter. So now you have another collection which is for the Windows. Now it's easier for us to hide this object from the scene if we need to. So the next one, I'm gonna put the walls, the house base, I'm gonna put in different collection as well. Also M new, I'm gonna call this one house, just like this, and I'm gonna hide this one as well, so it make it easier for us to select our other object. So I'm gonna select the door like this, making sure everything is being selected, and then press M new collection, and this is gonna be our door. So press enter, and now you have our door, and the only roof has been left, but I'm gonna put in two different collection because I want the woods to be in separate collection as well, because it's make it really easier for us when we go in for next step for shade. So I'm gonna select that roof and press M new collection. I'm gonna call this one roof. I'm gonna hide this one as well, so, and I'm gonna select everything left, which is the wood supporting the roof. So I'm gonna press M, and I'm gonna just call it woods and then roof. So anything you just remember for yourself, which one is what in your scene, that should be fine. You can call it any name, but at least you know what it is. So now we have all the different collection for our scene, and then we're gonna carry on build our next object. So I think I'm gonna build a tree in this video. So let me hide everything for now, because it's gonna be cleaner and much better to work with. And I'm gonna move our 3D cursor into the center of the world. So right click and then snap, and then cursor to the origin like this. So now I'm gonna press Shift A, and I'm gonna add cylinder. Remember, you have to change your setting before moving your object, because there's no way to bring this window back. So I'm gonna put 8 sides, scaling down like this, then making it taller like this. Okay, that should be fine. So now I'm gonna press tab to go in edit mode, and I want the bottom part to be on the ground level. So I'm gonna press G, Z like this, and I want the object center to be at the bottom as well, because it's gonna make it easier for us when we're scaling. So it's gonna scale from here on up. If I do like S and scale, you see what it's doing, because if it's in the middle, it's gonna go down as well again. So let me undo this one for right now. So this is gonna be our tree base. So let me turn on X-ray by Alt Z, or just select this one, and then I'm gonna select everything at the bottom, and then S and scale up like this, and selecting the top part on S, scaling it down, and then G, Z to make it a little bit taller like this. And I'm gonna add some loop in the chunk, so to be able to bend, if you want, the tree, because now it's really straight. So I'm gonna press Ctrl R, and I'm gonna, this is up to you, but about 6 should be fine for now. So left and right click to keep them in their position. So next thing, we're gonna add a chunk for the chi, so press Shift A this time, and we're gonna add cube, and I'm gonna scale it down S like this, zoom in so we'll be able to see better. I'm gonna move it up, G, Z, and then I'm gonna go to edit mode, and I need to be able to select the object. So like this, everything's been selected, and then G and X, so like this should be fine. And then you're gonna model this one, so let me turn off the X-ray to be able to see it better, and I'm gonna go to face mode by pressing 3 on the keyboard, select this face. Sorry, my voice it's not well. And then G, Z, move it up, and R, Y to rotate like this. I'm gonna select E for extrude, just move it like this, and E again, just a little bit like this. I think it's a little bit big, so I want to make it smaller. So I'm going by pressing S into X-ray and select all these, and then scale it down, and these as well, little bit, S, just like this. That should be better. And now I'm gonna go into face mode again, select this face, and then extrude and extrude again, and then G, Z to move it up like this, and then S for scaling it down like this. And then I'm gonna select this side, and then E for extrude, move it like this, and then G, X to move it like this, because remember, maybe your axis direction are in different than mine, so just beware of that. And now I'm gonna press R, Z to rotate like this, and then scale it down like this. And then I'm gonna press extrude again, E for extrude, and then S for scaling it down, and then G, Z to move it up so it's not looking straight. And then we're gonna add another one on this side, selecting this face, and then E for extrude like this, and then G, X to move like this, and then R, Z to rotate a little bit like this, and then S for scaling it down. And now another time E for extrude, and then G, Z to move it up like this. I'm gonna rotate as well, so R, Y, and then S to scale it down like this. I think this is too straight. I'm gonna add another cut into this one, so to make it a little bit better. So Control R, and then right, left, and then I'm gonna select this face, and I'm gonna press G, X, and then G, Z to move it like this, and then I'm gonna press R, Y to rotate in the Y direction like this. This part is up to you, so just make it look like it's a chunk of chi, and then I don't want to spend a lot of time like doing. And now I'm gonna add another object, so it's gonna be Shift A, and then ecosphere, and then subdivision, make it 2, and then I'm gonna move it to the place with G like this, and I'm gonna scale it down because now it's too big. So I'm just moving it to the place I want. I'm gonna duplicate this one, Shift D, and move it to the next, I'll make this one a little bit bigger and this one smaller. So S for scaling it down like this. And I'm gonna duplicate this one, Shift D, S, scale it down, G for moving. I'm gonna move this one a little bit, G like this. I'm gonna put another one here. So Shift D and then S to scale it down like this, then G to move it to place like this. And now they are two spherical, so I want to make a little bit better shape, so maybe by just reducing the number of polygon. So I'm gonna select this one, go into modifier and then add decimate, and then just play with this one until you're happy with the shape you want. I think that's okay. So I'm gonna add to all of them just to make it like they are not exactly same thing. Decimate, and this one too, decimate, just like this. I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger, S, like this. So I'm gonna make another one similar to this one on this side. So I'm gonna manually just copy this one to the other side. Shift D or Z and then rotate like this, 180 should be fine. And I'm gonna move it up, G, Z little bit, and then I'm just gonna go to edit mode and change a little bit because I don't want they are to be exactly same one. So by pressing top, going inside and then going into X-ray mode, I'm just gonna move this object of G, this the middle one, so G, then that should be fine. So get out of X-ray mode and edit mode, and then I'm gonna copy some of them to the side. So Shift D and move to this side, G to move into the right place, and then Shift D again, G, Z. I think they are okay now, so I'm happy with this one now. So what you're gonna do, I want to convert them everything to be as a one object. So I'm gonna select all of them by hold down Shift and select them, and then Control J. So now everything is as one object. And if you see our object center points moved to this side, so I want to move that one into the middle again. So that's very important when we add another modifier. It's really important. So I'm gonna right click this one and then set origin to a 3D cursor. So now it's moved down here. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add curve to our scene. So Shift A and Bezier curve like this, and I'm gonna rotate this one in Y axis. So I'm gonna press R, Y, 90 degree like this, and I want this point to be in the ground level, and then we're gonna carry on doing the other part. So I'm gonna turn on X-ray and I'm gonna move this one up. So by pressing G, Z, I'm gonna move it up like this. So just making sure that it is in the ground level, doesn't have to be perfect. So now I'm gonna go to edit mode and then select this. So we need to make this one straight. So by pressing G, Y and moving it like this. So now we have a one straight line like this. And then I'm gonna select this point and we're gonna extrude. We need some more point, because this is going to be our driver to bend our chi. So now press E and then Z to move another one, and then E, Z to add another one, and then like this, and the last one E, Z, nearly at the top. That should be fine. So I'm gonna get out of edit mode like this, and now we have to copy this around our chi, so to give it more look like a chi. So I'm gonna add array to this, so let me add this one, and then how many you want. So I'm gonna give it about 15 for now, but we don't want, like, to go this way. So we're gonna drive our copy by an empty, so we have a more control over what we are doing. So I'm gonna add an empty by shift A and then go into empty sphere. So I'm gonna add this one, and then what we need to do, select, and then we're gonna deselect this one and select object, and then we're gonna select our empty. So remember what's the name of this empty. We only have one here, but it's really good to name it if you want to remember which one is it. So now we need to find out our empty at the bottom. So now if we select this one, we need to scale down this object. So by pressing S and scale it down, and why is doing this? Because our object scale and location maybe is not right. So if we select this one and going into here, there's a problem with something in here, so that's why it's causing this problem. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove array for now, just to see it better. And then what you need to do when you have this kind of problem, so you just press Control A, and then all transfer you need to be reset. So reset this one, that should fix the problem. And now if we select this one, let's make the scale 1 again. So this is our empty. If you remember, we want to be just as when you add to the scene. So we just bring it back to our original when you add to the scene. So I'm gonna select this one, and now it should fix the problem. So I'm gonna add array, and then I'm gonna make 15, and then deselect this one. We want to be driven by our empty, so I'm gonna select our empty. So whenever you come across this problem and trying to fix, it really sometimes help other people, like to find out how to fix these kind of problems. So now it should be working fine because everything's in the right place, so that means everything is fine. So now if we select our empty and then press G and Z and move it up, you're making this copy like this. So let me get out of X-ray mode so we see it better like this. So now this empty is driving our chi, but I think we have too many, so I'm gonna reduce the number down a little bit. Let me make it for 10 now, because you remember we have in both sides. So now I'm gonna press G and Z and move it up like this. And if you press S and scale it down, so the top one will be smaller and the bottom one will be bigger. So now again press G and Z to move it up, move it down to see a bit. So G, Z, like this. But now our chi is flat, so how to fix that one? What you need to do, so you select your empty again and press R for rotation and then Z. So just toward Z, and see what's happening. So just rotate as it became like the way you want, and it's more random in different places. And I think now I'm happy with our chi for now, because I don't want to spend more time. So you can't just play with this one, you know how it's been done. So you just rotate, and whenever you're happy where are they, so you just leave them there. So now I think it's look fine, but now our chi is too straight. So how we can bend our chi, it's by this curve we created before. So what we need to do, we need to select our chi chunk, and then we need to add curve, and then just from here select our curve, Bezier curve. We only have one there, and we have another problem now. Why is causing that problem? I think because when we add our curve, we moved the top, the head of our curve at the bottom, and the bottom at the top. So we have to rotate this one around to fix our problem. So I'm gonna get out of X-ray mode. Sorry, I'm gonna delete the curve we add to this one. So I'm gonna remove it, and then we're gonna select as our curve. Sorry, this is very important to remember. So sometimes when you're doing things very quickly, you forget, you know, keep the head at the top all the time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press R Y 180 like this, and I'm gonna move it up. So G Z to move our curve up, just making sure the bottom part is by the ground. So yeah, it should be fine now. And I'm gonna move this point as well to the bottom as well, so the center object. So I'm just gonna set origin to 3D cursor. It should be fixing the problem. So now again, if I get out of X-ray and then select our chi chunk, and then add curve, select our curve, now it's working fine. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. So by selecting this and then add curve, and then selecting our curve in the scene. So now if I be able to select our curve like this, go into edit mode by pressing tab and this point. So if you select this point and then press G for moving, you see what's doing. So now you have full control over your chi to make it different. It's really helpful. Maybe the first one is gonna take a bit of your time, but when you're done one, it became really easier to make your chis different from each other. And I forget to move these two up a little bit because it doesn't start, you know, from this level. So it's better if our first one around this area. So let me get out of this, and then I'm gonna select this one, our object, and I'm gonna move our object up. So I'm going to in edit mode by tab and then select everything. Make sure to turn on X-ray, because otherwise you'll not be able to select the thing at the bottom. So now press G Z and move it up. So just, you know, wherever you want, you know, your first chunk to start. So now by pressing tab, get out of edit mode, turn off X-ray, and now you have fixed your problem. And now we have our chi, but we want to be able to move this chi and make copy and in easy way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add another control just to move the chi around, and we have our control to make the chunk different, and we have another control to make the G bend in different way. So it's gonna be like V control. But if you remember, we moved everything up. So if you look at this top part, it's moved up a little bit. So we need to move them down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select our empty and then just G, Z and move it down. So if you want like better controlling over, not jumping like this, just press down shift and you'll be able to have a better control, just like this. That should be fine. Okay, so let me add another control, pressing shift A. Sorry, it's just empty, but because we're controlling everything by this one, I called it control, which is not the right name. I'm gonna add another cube like this, and I'm gonna keep the size big, so when you have another object and you have our ground, so easy to be able to see and select, because these are not renderable, so you have no problem with this one. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna select everything except the box. The box should be selected last, so select everything and then the last one select the MTV add-in, which is the box, and then right click and then parents and then object. So now if you move this one, everything should move with it like this. So now it's easy to make another copy from this tree. So what you need to do, select everything, shift D and Y, so you have another one. If you want to make change to this one, so what you need to do, you just play with the rotation, rotate just only on Z like this. If you want to play with bend the G in different ways, so you just select your curve, go into edit mode, and then these points you just select them and then move them around. Just like this. Should be fine. And even you can play with the scale. Scale them up, scale them down. We can add more chunk to it. So if you select this one and just make this one like 15, and move it up, so G, C. So now you have a little bit different from the other one. So this method, I think, is it's make life easier to create G. The only you spending time with the first one, and then the rest you can make different things from when you make the first one. So now you don't have, even if you want to change, like for example this part to different kind of G, you just select this one and then just you can turn off this for your preview just for the moment, and then go into edit mode and change this one to whatever you want, and then everything will be different. Let's say for example I'm gonna delete all of these like this, delete faces. Sorry, I forget to turn on the X-ray mode. So now faces. So now we have nothing in the scene. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add another object just by pressing Shift A, and I'm gonna add just plane. Sorry, because it's adding to where we have our 3D cursor. So I'm just gonna quickly move it to the right place. So by pressing G, Y, and then we move it like this. So now let me zoom in, and I'm gonna move it a little bit more like this. G, X, like this, and I'm gonna move it up because we do want our chi to start from our bottom. So G, Z, move it up like this, and you just create, you know, whatever shape from this. You have different kind of chi. So I'm gonna do by pressing Ctrl or at one loop like this, and then I'm gonna add two loop this way, Ctrl R. Just gonna move this point closer to chunk like this, G, Y. This is I'm just showing you so you can duplicate this one to the other side, and then you will have like a little bit different. But let me leave it like this, and I'm gonna just add solidifier into this one, so to just give it some thickness. So select modifier, solidify, and then we just have a little bit of thickness, so you can change your thickness here if you want, but this should be fine. So now let me move solidify to the top, and we don't want this one, this image, so just we have our empty, and then we're gonna reset our old transform, so just to making sure everything's working fine, and then we're gonna select Control to make it better. So now if we press S to make everything bigger, and then we're gonna press G, Z to move them down. So now it's too big. S again for scaling it down. So you can create really different kind of thing from this. If you press Shift, you have a better control over. So just something like this, and then by pressing G, Z, and Shift again. So if you press R and Z and rotate, so you can create really different kind of shape from this. But I'll find out it's looking better if you have like more than one, just one shape. So like this one, what we have done here, we create two, one for each side, and then when you put them all together, it's look like better and more random. So this is, I'm just showing you the method how to create chi. So I'm gonna leave these two chi. I may change this one and add another part to the other side, so just to make it a little bit different, and then we're just gonna copy more of these chi around. So this way we've done our chi right, and we learned something from our mistake, because whenever you do mistake, you learn from your mistake. Nobody is perfect, and you're never gonna be perfect. So I think I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna leave this one as a homework for you. I'm gonna change a little bit, you know, in this chi. I'm gonna keep this one, and then in the next video we just make some more copy of this chi around. If you want to make them to make it different, so you have full control over them, how to change them, that's up to you. And let's build our next object in the next video. I see you soon.